Hi. Um, let's see. My name is Bidemi, and welcome to a time out with me, more of educational. I'm going to be sharing some insights with you today. So just let's see who will first come up, then we can start. Let's see. So let's see who will come up first. Let's see. So today I'll be sharing some insight um, for parents and guardians. If you're a parent, if you have someone under your care, and welcome engineer Olaya Abidemi Taiwo, so good to see you. Please, can you please share this as you come in? I'll be so delighted if you can share it, because it's so important I share some insights with you. To all the parents all around the world, especially in less developed countries, for example, Nigeria. So let's see if welcome Queen Seun Yaya. I still thought about you some days ago. How are you? And how is work? How is work too? Let's see who's up. Echefula Elebo. So good to see you today. How are you today? So today, please let's go and hit our share button as we come up. I want to share something very important to the parents in Nigeria, especially. I want to let them know some few things that I don't think they have an idea about. They don't have an idea of what happens outside the country. So it's one of my duty as an educator to share with them. Welcome, Martins, Oluyemisi Fayemi. So good to see you. So, my title, my topic for today is caution to parents or guardians who wants to send their kids abroad to go and study. Caution to parents or guardians who wants to send their kids abroad to go and study. That's those who they want their kids to study abroad. But there are some things that they should know that they don't have an idea about. It's not just about packaging your kids out of the country, then you say, okay, my kid is abroad studying, and you are excited. There's nothing wrong with that. But before you do that, there's some responsibility you should have carried out. Basic responsibility you should have carried out. So that when your children get to wherever they are going to, they won't be messed up by the society. The university environment is one of the toughest environments around the world. It's one of the craziest, allow me use that word. It's one of the craziest environments around the world, such that a child who comes good goes out worse off, even after earning a degree or having a master's degree or having a PhD degree. And let me say this to you. Thriving in life, or how do I put it? Knowing who you are is not a function of age. So it's possible for you to have a PhD student who is here to have an idea of what life is all about. In fact, you have a lot of them around. A lot of them around. So that should let you know that the educational system is not paying attention to the vitality, the most important area of a child's life. So before sending your kids out, or for example, especially for those who are in Nigeria, before sending your kids to any other country, not the Cyprus, but I tell you, this place is crazy. It's crazy in the sense that sometimes I just shake my head when I see young people, 16, 17, 18, They are confused. They are worse off. They are, I don't know what I can explain to you, but I'm going to give you some guidelines of some of the things that you should know. Number one, before you send your kids to study in another country, before you send your kids to study in another country, number one, don't send them when you know that they are underaged. Don't send them to other countries when you know that they are underaged. I'm going to buttress that point. So if you know that they are less than 18, don't be in a hurry to quickly send them off to go and study in other countries. Because each country, they have their own problems. They have their own vices they are dealing with. They have their own stuffs they are dealing with. So if you send your child to that environment and your child is not properly taught, your child will be a product of that environment. I hope you know when you send your child to go and study in a school, it's not only within the four walls of that university. That child will also partake, if not well taught, in the culture of that environment. So if your child is underage, if your child is specifically below 18 years of age, don't be in a hurry to send them off to other countries. Don't be in a hurry to send them off to other countries. One of the things you should do before you send them off is, have they been properly taught? Are they matured? One of the things I need you to know that age is not a function of maturity. Even though as you grow, it is expected that you also grow in wisdom. That's the way it's supposed to be. But if you look around, you will see it's even 60-year-old men behaving like babies. I was speaking to my wife yesterday, and she was telling me about we were just discussing, and we found out that even 60-year-old men molesting younger ladies, beating them. They are not Nigerians now, but I'm just letting you know that the kind of culture that you find, there are some cultures you find in an environment where you get to. So don't send them if they are underaged. Don't send them to other countries if they are underage. However, if you know that they've been properly taught, if you know that they are developed, if you know that you've trained them, if you know you've trained them, then you know you can vouch for them. They've been taking some responsibilities when they are at home. Then you can actually send them to other countries. So if they're underaged, you have to be very careful before you take such decisions. Ensure that they are matured enough before you send them off to other countries. Ensure they are matured enough is very important. Number two, one of the things you should pay attention to is when your kids are at home, as a parent or a guardian, when your kids are at home, what do they use their time for? What do they do with their time? Do they watch TV all day? Do they play games all day? Do they know the value of education in itself? And I hope you know, before your child goes to the university, as a parent or a guardian, you should have explained to them the value of education. You should have explained to them the meaning of education. You should have explained to them the value of education. You should have explained to them the importance of education. So, what do they use their time for? Time is life. If your kids keep on wasting their time, then they keep on wasting their life. So as a parent, you must teach your children the value of time. So before you send them to the four walls of the university, one of the things you should begin to monitor and ensure that you teach them, you guide them in that direction is how they use their time. How they use their time is so important. Sorry. It's so important. So what do they use their time for when they are home? That's so important. Number 3, before sending your kids to study outside the country, before sending your kids to study outside the country, one of the basic things you must do is you must teach them about the value of money, the importance of money, the role money plays in the society. Let them know that having money is not the basics of life. Teach them financial independence. Teach them prudency. Teach them how to save, the importance of saving. The reason why I tell you that is because when kids get to the 4 walls of the university, in the first 6 months, they are spendthrifts. They are spendthrifts. They buy anything they see. Most of the things they see, the latest shoes, they go out, and you can tell if they have been properly taught the value of money. If you know what some kids do, because sometimes maybe there are no proper inflows from home to pay their school fees. You need to know what some of the kids do to get money. I tell you, you need to know what some of them do. Some of them go into as far as prostitution. Some of them go into as far as fraud. Some of them go into as far as selling some vital parts of their body. I tell you, it's crazy out here. So you need to teach them that life is not about money. You need to teach them that the basics of life is not money. Money has its role. Money has its function. But the beauty of life is not in having money. That's not the beauty of life. So teach them the value of money before you send them off to the university walls. It's so important that you do that. Number 4. So number 3, I said teach your kids the value of money. Welcome, King Yomi Jagede. So good to see you. Welcome, Evangelist Raymond Oluwabusola. How are you today? Queen Martin, so good to see you. The 4th one. Before sending your kids to the university, have you taught them about the value of relationships? The importance and the value of relationships. It's so important to teach them. I've also observed, because I'm within the 4 walls of the university, so I'm always pained when I see some things. Because if you don't teach your kids what friendship is all about, what relationship is all about, they will be polluted within the system. We've observed that when students come into the university, they are calm, they are cool, they are collected. And before you know it, they are going to mix up with some friends. As soon as they do that, if that person they mix up with is someone who does not have good character, if it's someone who lacks manners, if it's someone who has not been properly taught, if it's someone who has different value systems, if it's someone who has faulty value systems, I tell you, in no time, your child will be like that. In no time. So you have those who don't smoke at home. By the time they get here, they begin to smoke a lot of things. They begin to smoke the unsmokables. They begin to smoke the unsmokables, I tell you. So teach your kids the value of relationships. Teach your kids sit them down and have a one tete-a-tete discussion with them. Teach them, read with them about what relationships can do. So that's number 4. Number 5, check up on your children. Check up on your kids. Don't choke them up with calls. When they are within the university, check up on them. Don't call them all the time. If they've been properly taught, you might not need to really monitor them like that. But check up on them from time to time. Be interested in their studies. Be interested in their relationships. Be interested in their vision, what they are passionate about. Ask them questions like, okay, so tell me, what do you really want to do with your life? What do you think you want to do with your life? Ask them such questions. As a parent, begin to ask them, so tell me, what is your welcome, Dr. Ayinla? So good to see you today. That's one of the people who taught me when I was in the bachelor days. How are you today? How is the family? So I was saying that be interested in the life of your kids. Sit them down and ask them questions about life. The university is not going to ask them such questions. Aside what they teach in university, normal courses, just things that they write and pass. But the cruise of life, the basics of life, they are not being taught, which shouldn't be so. So check up on them and be interested in their life. When you call them, ask them questions like, so tell me, what have you been up to? Aside your classes, what have you been up to? What have you been doing with your life? What have you been doing with your time? Speak to their friends. Speak to their friends. What number am I now? Number 6. I'm in number 6. I'm in number 6 now. My number 6 point is teach your kids to really know God. Whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, but teach them how to have a relationship with their Father. Teach them how to have a relationship with their Father in heaven. It will really help them. It will really sustain them. It will really guide them in the toughest times of their lives. It will shape their character. It will shape their nature. It will shape their thinking patterns. It will shape their mind. It will shape their life. It will also shape their purpose altogether. So, before you send your kids to the 4 walls of the university, one of the things you must do, you must teach your kids how to have valuable relationship with their Father in heaven. Do you know that one of the places where they waste life of youth, they just waste their time, is in religious houses? From concerts to meetings to different meetings. And before you know it, that child grows up to as much as 25, 26, and that child has not been able to achieve anything tangible. That child has not been able to come up with a book. That child has not been able to write a book. That child has not been able to invent anything. Why? Because they are busy with the wrong things. They are busy with the things that are mundane. They are busy with the things that are invaluable. They are busy with the things that will not move their lives forward. And once you waste 5 years of your life, it can't be gotten back. It cannot. So at the age of 15, 16, 17, your child must be well grounded. As a parent or guardian, your child should know at that age what he wants to spend his or her life doing. Between the ages of 0 to 12. That's the best formative years of a child. 0 to 12. So whatever you feed that child with from 0 to 12, that's what that child is going to vomit out when he gets to university. So teach your children, teach your kids the importance of having a one-on-one relationship with their father. It's so important. It's so important. It's so important, especially if you are sending them off to an unknown land. It's so important. Then the last one I want to say to you is, take good care of your kids. Take good care of your kids. Be concerned about them. No matter how age they might be, whether they are married or not. Whether they are married or not. Be concerned about your children. If they have boyfriends or they have those they are in relationship with, find out. Speak to that guy. Speak to that guy. Don't say because they are young. Some of them are in relationships that you know nothing about. They won't tell you because you are not close to them. They won't tell you because you don't ask them questions. They won't tell you because they feel that you are going to castigate them and you're going to abuse them and you're going to put them to the wall. Find out the kind of relationships they are in. Find out. Be interested in their lives. Let them know that you love them. Let your kids know that you love them. So once they know that you love them and you ask them questions, they will be so free with you. Whether it's a male or a female. Let them be able to call you and say, Daddy, Mommy, I need to speak with you. There's something bothering me. Oh, that's one of the best things as a parent or a guardian. That's one of the best. We parents are failing in different parts, I tell you. Some children, they are messed up around in the environment. They are so messed up. Some of them even lose their life in the process due to wrong relationships and bad friends. So they go into drugs. They go into a lot of deadly things. So as a parent, in summary, be involved with your children. Know what is going on in their lives. If they are in school right now, call them to find out. How are you? Tell me, talk to me. Please, it's so important. It's so important. And I hope you've been able to learn something. I hope you've been able to learn something. Please share this so that people can watch this later. It's so important for me based on what I see around and observe. I've worked in a university before, so I know what I'm talking about. And I hope you've been inspired. Let me say hello to everybody. Engineer Olaya, so good to see you. How are you today? Quishon Yaya, how are you? Ichefula Elebo, how are you? Martin Zoluye Misi Fayemi, how are you today? King Yomi Jagede, I salute you. Evangelist Raymond Oluwabusola, so good to see you. My professor, King Ayela Tajuddin, how are you today? And how is the family? Bafo, so good to see you. Yinka Jisebutu, Gudio Kechuku. So just enjoy your day. Be involved with the life of your kids. Get to know what they are involved in. Get to know what their pains are. Before I leave you today, do you know that some children, when they come to, or when they leave for other countries, some of them cry. I'm a life coach, so I know what I'm telling you. Some of them cry because their parents don't listen to them. Some of them cry, they shed tears. Some of them are bottling up pains that you know nothing about. Some of them are bottling up pains that you know nothing about. Please be involved in the lives of your kids. God is going to help you. Bye and God bless. Thank you so much, Bafo. Thank you so much. Do have a great evening. I'm going to be up by 6 o'clock tomorrow again to teach also. Bye and God bless. Bye.